right, so here's our sim review, questions 11 through 24. 11 says, the table shows the high temperatures and numbers of snow cones sold at a snack bar on 7 days. And so we have high temperature numbers sold. Which scatter plot best represents the data in the table? And so if I look here, I see on all of my graphs, if I notice, high temperature is on my x-axis, and numbers sold is my y-axis, and so that's going to help me be able to tell which is which. So if I know that high temperature is my x-axis, numbers sold is my y-axis, then this is just the same as we've done on our scale builders, we did with our process tables, and so all we're doing is just graphing these ordered pairs. So 92.25, so I'll look here, 92.25, yep, that one is about there, 92.25, that one is not there. 92.25, yep, that one is good, and then 92.25, so I've already eliminated 2 answer choices. Next one, 85.30, let's do that one. 85, it's going to be here in between 84, 86, 30, and yep, that is there. 85, 30, also there. 90, 28, let's do that one next. So 90, 28, yep, that looks pretty good there. 90, 28, nope, that should be here below 30, so that will eliminate that answer choice, and so that confirms A as my correct answer. Question number 12. Raymond used 42 cubes to build the first layer of a rectangular prism. The edge length of each cube was 1 inch. The finished prism had a total of 7 layers. And then it says, what is the volume of Raymond's prism in cubic inches? So I know my volume is my base, and we talked about this already, but volume is just my base area times the height or the number of layers tall it is. So I do have some information that I don't necessarily need. The 1 inch, that's not really going to help me, so I could eliminate that. And I have 42 is my first layer, so that's my base layer is 42, so that's good information. And then my height is 7 layers, so 7 layers tall. So my volume is going to be 42 times 7, which is going to give me a total of 294. Make sure that we bubble those in. And then you can also bubble the 2 zeros behind if you want to, or you can leave them blank because 294 is the same thing as 294.00. So either answer will be correct. Question number 13. It says that Cyril put a total of 1/8 pounds of gravel into 6 fish tanks. He put the same amount of gravel into each tank. So there's some good information. How many pounds of gravel did he put into each tank? So I have a total amount, and I'm dividing it or splitting it into equal categories or into equal groups. So if I have a total amount split into equal groups, then we know that is division. Hard part is what's the total amount? Well, it tells us here. Total of 1/8 split into 6 equal groups. That's going to give me 1/8 divided by 6. 2 strategies. I could use my 5th grade strategy, start with a fraction, end with a fraction, or I could use my keep, change, flip. And so if I use keep, change, flip, Then I need to make that into a fraction. I'm going to keep my 1/8, change division to multiplication, flip the 6 over 1 into 1 over 6, multiply across. 1 times 1 is 1. 8 times 6 is 48. And so my answer is going to be 1 over 48, or 1/48 of a pound of gravel is going to go into each of the tanks. Number 14, Mr. Anderson has 185 pieces of wood. He sold 25 pieces of wood to his neighbor, and he stacked the rest of the wood into piles around the house. Each pile of wood contained 40 pieces of wood. Which equation can be used to find P, the number of piles of wood that he made? So he has a total amount of 185. He sold some. So when he sold some, so that's going to be subtraction. So I know I'm going to be using subtraction. Then the rest of it, he stacked into equal piles. So I have an amount stacked into equal piles or split into equal groups. So then that's going to be division. So I'm looking for subtraction and then division, and I only have one of these equations that has subtraction and division, so I can safely eliminate all other answer choices, and that's going to be my good answer choice. Number 15, this exact question, as is, was on one of our recent assessments, so we should be know how to do this one pretty good, but for some reason when I graded them, I saw a lot of errors, so let's cover it. Nathan is at 6'5", and I know the numbers are a little bit off, but you know we can notice here that the 1 should be at this first one. So 6'5", so I go to 6, the sixth one, and I go up 5. There's Nathan. Denise is at 9'10". Wade is at 7'0". And I don't know how to say that name, but that person is at 1'1". Then it tells us that Paula is located at 7'7". So special point, Paula is at 7'7". Which of these is true? Paula is 1 unit south, 2 units east from Nathan. So let's find Nathan. And let's see. Nathan is here. I'm going to go 1 unit south. Okay. 2 units east. Nope. That did not put me in the right spot. So that does not work. Paula is 7 units east from Wade. So here's Wade. I go 7 units east. Nope. Didn't work. Paula is 3 units south, 2 units west from Janice. So here's Janice, 3 units south, 1, 2, 3. And then 1, 2 units west. That looks like that works. And then the last one, 6 units west from here. And nope, that doesn't work. So my valid answer choice, the only one that makes any sense at all, is answer choice C. Number 16 we did in class, but I'll do it again just to make sure. Which table can be used to represent the equation 1/10 x? And this is 1/10 times x. So it's important to know that I have an invisible multiplication symbol there. So 1/10 times x. So here in F, I'm going to look here. So whatever my y is, it should be the same as 1/10 times x. So if I have 1/10 times 5, because x is 5, 5 times 1 is 5, and then now I have 1 decimal place. So my answer should be 5/10. And so I can eliminate this one, eliminate this one, and so I've already eliminated 2 answer choices. Let's move on to the next one. So if x is 10, then I have 1/10 times 10, or yeah, let's do it back the other way, the way I was originally doing it. So 1/10 times 10, 1 times 0, 1 times 1, and then I have 1 decimal place. So my answer choice should be 1 and 0 tenths. So that one still works, but I can eliminate J, so my only valid answer choice. And let's see, 15 becomes 1.5, 20 becomes 2, 40 becomes 4. Those are all correct. And so 16 is G. Moving on to number 17. So for number 17, I kind of expected this to be a little bit difficult, but I was hoping that some of us would be able to get some good information out of here. But Phoebe divided her rectangular vegetable garden into 3 sections as shown in the drawing below. The potato section is a square, that's important, with a side length of 7 meters. The carrot section is also a square with a side length of 5 meters. Wants to know what is the area of the corn section. So in class, I boxed that, but I left it alone. Wanted to see what you guys would do with it. And so let's go ahead and fill in the pieces that we do know. I know that potatoes is 7. And because it's a square, I also know that all of my sides are 7. Carrots is 5, and because it's a square, I know that all of my sides are 5. So then I know up here is also 5. And then what I'm able to see, because I know that it's a square, this side length here and this side length here are the same. Well, if that's 7 and that's 5, then this little missing piece is going to be 2. And so I'm looking for corn, the area of corn. And so if I'm looking for the area of corn, that's going to be this area here. 5 times 2 to get my area is going to give me 10 square meters. Number 18, last month Jim drove his car 2,718 and 3/10 miles. That brought his total mileage to 87,416 miles. And it wants to know what was the car's total mileage before last month. So it was a certain amount. We don't know what it was. We added some amount to it, and now we have a new total. Well, fact families can tell me that if I go ahead and take what the total is now, 87,416, and I subtract the amount that's there, then I can figure it out what the amount was before. But what ends up being important is now I have a decimal. And so here I would use my sideways notebook paper, and I would use that to help me figure out where my decimal points are going to go in all of my numbers. And so 2718 decimal 3, and I do need to fill in a 0 here. Make sure you keep everything nice and lined up. And so I need to 0 minus 3, can't do that, so I'm going to borrow. That becomes a 5. 10 minus 3 is 7. 5 minus 8, I can't do that, so that becomes a 0 and a 15. 15 minus 8 will give me 7. Keep my decimal down there. 0 minus 1, I can't do that. That becomes a 3. 10 minus 1 is 9. 3 minus 4, I can't do that. So 13 minus 7 is 6. 6 minus 2 is 4. And then 8 minus 0 is 8. And so 84,697 and 7/10 miles. F will be my answer. Number 19 is a stem and leaf plot. We talked about this a little bit in class today. You should have learned stem and leaf plots in 4th grade, and if not, we will cover it in our unit over graphing and statistics. But the important part is the key. The key is going to tell us how to read this. And so if I see 6 on the left side of the line and 8 on the right side, I know that that is going to be 6 and 8/10. So my values, I have 6 and 8/10, 6 and 9/10, and another 6 and 9/10. The next line I have 7 and 5/10, 8 and 2/10, 8 and 7/10, 9 and 5/10, and 9 and 7/10. And again, it tells us 8 people, so I can just count these and see that I do have all of my data. The question wants to know is what is the difference, so that's going to be subtraction, between the highest score and the lowest score. Well, the highest score is 9 and 7/10. And the lowest score is 6 and 8/10. So I need to subtract. And 17 minus 8 is going to give me 9. And then 8 minus 6 is 2. So 2 and 9/10. And there is my answer. Number 20. Seth's homework assignment is to write factor pairs that contain only composite numbers. He wrote these 4 factor pairs for the number 132. Which of the factor pairs contains only composite numbers? So if I see a non-composite or I see a prime number, I should eliminate it. And so let's take a look here. 11 is prime, 3 is prime, 2 is prime, so 6 is composite, and 22 is composite, so F is going to be my answer choice. Number 21, again, I was surprised on this one. How many people missed that one? So I have division, right? So that's clear. What division is I need to know a total amount, and it's split, that total amount is split into equal groups. So that's important. We always need to know in division, I have a total amount split into equal groups. Well, my total amount is 3. Split into equal groups of 1/3. So I'm looking for a total amount of 3 split into equal groups of 1/3. A, my total amount is 9, so that automatically does not work. C, my total amount is 9, also does not work. So I've eliminated 2 answer choices. I got a 50-50 shot. One thing that might help me, they need to be equal groups. I can see here for D, the groups are not equal. All right, so here I have 1, 2, 3, and I can see that they're broken up into thirds. 1/3, 2/3, 3/3, and so on. So I have 3 groups split into equal groups of 1/3. So B should be my answer choice, but also I'm not completely satisfied with that, so I'm going to work it out as well. So 3 divided by 1/3. I'm going to use KCF, keep, change, flip. I'm going to make that to a fraction. So I keep 3 over 1, change my division into multiplication, and I'm going to flip. So 1/3 becomes 3 over 1. And so this is going to equal 9 over 1, or 9. So I look here, do I have 9 groups? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That confirms it. I do have 9 pieces. Once I took my 3 wholes, split them into thirds, I have 9 pieces, and there it is confirmed. Question number 22. So far this month, Nancy has the expenses and income shown in the chart. So this is her budget. And what we know about budgets is for budgets to be balanced, they need to be equal on either side. And so Nancy wants to buy some music online, but she needs to have a balanced budget. And we talk about a scale. If I have a scale There's two sides to a scale. They both need to have the same amount in each side for them to be balanced. And so if my budget is balanced, my expenses and my income need to be the same. So based on her budget, what is the greatest amount of money she can spend on music? So let's first see what we have here. So expenses, 40 plus 60 plus 30, that's going to be 130. On the income side, 30 and 50 is 80, plus 25 is 100, and 5 plus 35 is 140. So right now, my income is bigger than my expenses, so my budget is not balanced. I need $10 more on this side for it to be balanced. So when I look down here, that happens to be one of my answer choices. If she spends $10 a month on music, then her budget will be balanced. Question number 23, Joshua compared the values of each of these decimals. And so which statement correctly compares two of these numbers? I'm going to go ahead and just make them be the same place value. Now, you could do this on notebook paper. And if I were to stack those, picking a line to be my decimal, right, I'm going to fill in a 0 here. So here I have 60 cents is less than 6 cents. Well, I know that's not true. 60 cents is far bigger than 6 cents. Here I have 6 thousandths is bigger than, well, I want to compare those, so I'm going to add some zeros. But again, you can do it on notebook paper, and I would encourage that you do that on the sideways notebook paper. Now we need to fill in our zeros. So I have 60 cents and 0 cents with 6 nonsense. So yeah, this is also not true. 60 cents is the same as 6 cents. Nope, definitely not true. And then I have 6 cents is the same as 6 cents, or we can and so now what I need to do is fill in my 0, and yep, those are exactly the same. So 23 is D for the answer. Last question for this video. The table shows the population of the 3 Texas counties. The population of Gray County is missing. Population of Gray County is 35,553, less than the population of Anderson County. And then the question wants to know what is the combined population of these 4 counties. So multi-step problem with some really nasty numbers. What we're going to do first is we need to find Gray. And so we do that by putting Anderson County, 58,308, minus my 35,553. And so we do that, 8 minus 3 is 5, 0, nope, can't do that. 10 minus 5 is 5, 2 minus 5, nope. 12 minus 5 is 7, 7 minus 5 is 2, 5 minus 3 is 2, so 22,755. Now we need to add all 4 of these numbers up. I did this on scratch paper, and probably recommend that you do as well, so that way you can do this sideways scratch paper. Keep all your columns nice and lined up, because this is a lot of numbers to add up. But when we add all of these numbers up, we will find that our correct answer is F. If you really want me to work this one out, just please ask me in class. I'll get the sideways notebook paper. We'll keep everything lined up. It is a lot of steps, but not anything that is too impossible, and definitely something that we can do.